Hello, God bless. It's me, Dick Jr. I just figured out why I feel so out of frame because my seat's all the way down. But I came to you today, read you Daniel chapter 12. It's the last chapter of the book of Daniel. So there's that. I took 4 references out of this one. Isaiah chapter 11, verse 9. Ezekiel chapter 9. Oh, sorry, I didn't do like I usually do, so that's rapid fire. But Isaiah chapter 11, verse 9, chapter 11, verse 9 of Isaiah. There, that's better. Ezekiel chapter 9, verse 2. That's chapter 9, verse 2 of Ezekiel. Daniel chapter 10, verse 5. That's chapter 10, verse 5 of Daniel. And Zechariah chapter 13, verse 9. That's Zechariah chapter 13, verse 9. And I believe all of these are references that are written in the Bible, probably included in yours as well, except for the reference to Daniel 10:5, and you'll understand when I read the reference. It's just because it's something that we just recently read in last chapter of Daniel, or 2 chapters ago. So I have prayed and asked God to help me to speak with you today, and I suggest that any time that you place yourself in God's Word, you ask Him to give you knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, and He will. I also suggest that anytime you have you need questions answered, or there's just problems or anything, you just go to Him and you ask. Just a suggestion. But I know that He'll have to help you with knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, because He promises that He will. So if you ask Him for that, I know He'll do it. Especially concerning the Word. I mean, why would He want to try to not help you understand this? So that being said, I'm going to go ahead and read, and I'm going to try to stop at all the references that I have written. I read this section Sunday, like I have been. This is my Sunday reading, and I'm just reproducing it here gently because I'm not going to go into some of the details I did Sunday, because the scope of what I'm doing more or less is just trying to read through the Bible, and I'm also touching on a few references that I feel like clarify, or, something as it's going along. So let's just go ahead and get started here. Daniel chapter 12, verse 1. Now at that time, Michael, the great prince, this is Michael the archangel, who stands guard over the sons of your people, will arise, and there will be a time of distress, such as never occurred since there was a nation until that time. This great distress, I believe, is also what we would call the Great Tribulation. Okay? A great distress such as never been seen before. At that time, your people, everyone who is found written in the book, will be rescued. That's where we get our belief that we're going to be taken up. Many of those who sleep in the dust of the ground will awake, these to everlasting life, but the others to disgrace and everlasting contempt. Those who have insight will shine brightly like the brightness of the expanse of heaven, and those who lead the many to righteousness like the stars forever and ever. But as for you, Daniel, conceal these words and seal up the book until the end of time. Many will go back and forth, and knowledge will increase. And this is where I'm going to take us to Isaiah chapter 11, verse 9, concerning the word knowledge in that verse. So Daniel chapter 11, or Isaiah chapter 11, verse 9, the second half of that verse says, "For the earth will be full of the knowledge of the Lord as the waters covers the seas." And this is concerning the end of time. So when this time comes, everyone's going to know about God, and it doesn't mean they're going to believe in it. They're going to know about it. See what I mean? Let's go back here to Daniel, verse 5. Then I, Daniel, looked, and behold, 2 others were standing, one on this bank of the river, and the other on that bank of the river. And one said to the man dressed in linen, who was above the waters of the river, "How long will it be until the end of these wonders?" And now I'm going to take us to Ezekiel chapter 9, verse 2, concerning man dressed in linen. Okay? So Ezekiel 9, verse 2, "Behold, 6 men came from the direction of the upper gate, which faces north, each with his shattering weapon in his hand, and among them was a certain man clothed in linen, with a writing case at his loins, and they went in and stood beside the bronze altar." This is the vision of the slaughter. This is about the end, I believe. So And then the other reference that we took here was Daniel. This is the one I made. Daniel chapter 10, verse 5. This is another vision that Daniel was given. But it says, I lifted my eyes and looked, and behold, there was a certain man dressed in linen, whose waist was girded with the belt of pure gold of Uphaz. My wife says he was no wrestler. I don't know, but all kidding aside, the fact that he was in linen and girded in gold, and what happens at this point, I believe that he may be the same man who stands above the rivers in this verse here. So I'm going to go ahead and continue on. I heard the man dressed in linen who was above the waters of the river, and he raised his right hand and his left towards heaven and swore by him who lives forever, that it would be for a time and times and half a time. That's 3.5 years by supposition that they have come up with, so you know. And as soon as they finish shattering the power of the holy people, all these events will be completed. As for me, I heard but could not understand. So I said, my Lord, what will be the outcome of these events? And he said, go your way, Daniel, for these words are concealed and sealed up until the end of time. Many will be purged, purified, refined, but the wicked will act wickedly, and none of the wicked will understand. But those who have insight will understand. And this is where we're going to go to Zechariah chapter 13, verse 9. And it's in concern where it's talking about the purged and purified, I believe. I will bring the third part through the fire, refining them as silver is refined, and test them as gold is tested, and they will call on my name. So this is also concerning latter days. But that's what he's talking about right there. See, purify the wicked. Okay, verse 11. From the time that the regular sacrifice is abolished and the abomination of desolation is set up, there will be 1,290 days. How blessed is he who keeps waiting and awaits to the 1,335 days. But as for you, go your way to the end, then you will enter into the rest and rise again, for your allotted portion at the end of the age. And that's the last of Daniel. And I'm not going to do a lot of interpretation in these things. I did make those references for a reason. I just, there's notations, like 3.5 years. You might want to figure out how many days that is. And, there's days here. And, there's a lot of things that you can sort of divine from what the Lord has said. But the thing that we have to remember about this whole thing is that says in verse 9, go your way, Daniel, for these words are concealed and sealed up until the end of time. That means there's a lot of stuff that Daniel didn't get, okay? And nobody else did either, okay? And none of us are going to get it until the end of time. So anyway, those things being said, thanks for listening to me read Daniel chapter 12, and God bless.